FBI's most wanted, explain.
For almost 75 years, the FBI's top 10 most wanted list has helped bring down some of the
Wait,
nation's
does most wanted mean they're like, they haven't been caught yet?
most dangerous criminals. As for what makes the list special, it only features criminals that the FBI
That second guy looks creepy
deems to be actually serious threats to society. And to get on it, you basically have to do something extremely messed up or have a very lengthy
assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers using a dangerous weapon, or inflicting bodily harm, civil disorder, theft of restricted building or grounds. Dude, this guy has so many charges. Oh my god, he's playing GTA.
record of major crimes. The story
Economic espionage and theft of trade secrets. What does that mean? Gang Lu. Never mind. He's Chinese. I already know what the he's doing. Give me your money. Give me your money. I go FBI.
behind the list goes that back in 1949, a reporter asked the FBI to list out the 10 toughest guys that they were trying to catch so they could ask the public for help. After obtaining the list, the reporter published the criminals' pictures on the front page of the Washington Daily News, and the rest is history.
Damn.
Since then, the FBI has been able to catch almost 500 wanted fugitives thanks to public tips.
Most wanted is crazy.
These are the current criminals on the list.
Whoa. Alright, so we got, chat, let's be honest. We got Donald Eugene Fields. Who y'all think looks like the worst criminal? Like, who you think did the worst crime? Who you think did the worst crime? I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be the most unexpected, but I really think Badresh Kumar, Cheda Nahabi Pabada Poshkabada Kashpapa Patel did it. I think he's the worst one. That nigga in the middle looked devious. And he's Indian.
Badresh Kumar Shetan by
What the f? Why they show him first?
Patel. On April 12, 2015, a CCTV camera captured two Dunkin' Donuts employees, one male and one female, walking towards the shop's back room at around 9:30 p.m. before disappearing from view. A few seconds later, the man comes back into the camera's view, and it seems as if nothing out of the ordinary took place in the minute that went down between the two clips. A few minutes later, customers alerted the police when they didn't see any employees in the shop, and that's when the cops discovered something horrifying. Lying on the floor of the shop's back room was an Indian woman named Palak, lifeless, who had been pummeled to death by the man in the footage. As it was later revealed, the man who took Palak's life was her husband, Badresh Kumar. As the authorities later learned, the couple had been through a series of major arguments in the months leading up to
I was about to say, why the f you catching a body in Dunkin' Donuts?
that day. According to court documents, the two of their visas were about to expire in a few weeks. Palak wanted to go back to India, but Badresh Kumar wanted to stay in the US, and it looks like he couldn't find a better way to communicate his frustration.
So you kill her? You're definitely not allowed in the US now.
With the situation than to brutally take his wife's life.
So say he goes to India. Is he good? Like, is he free? I mean, he is most wanted. This is probably in India right now.
After the crime, Badresh Kumar was last seen taking a taxi from a hotel in New Jersey to a train station in Newark, but what he did after that is really anyone's guess.
Wow.
To bring more attention to a suspect who might otherwise walk away scot-free.
How the f did he get on a plane then? How did this Indian get on a plane with, like he had to show his ID, be like, yo, I'm Bashkrish, let me on plane. And they're like, no, you're a murderer. Like, how? Unless he went to like Canada.
The FBI placed him on the most wanted list. As of today, there's a $250,000 reward to bring the suspect into custody. But almost 10 years after the crime, it looks like that won't happen anytime soon.
Yo, you go to India, it's up. I'm sure you could find this in India.
Alejandro Rosales Castillo. The youngest suspect on the most wanted list, 26-year-old Alejandro Rosales Castillo, has been on the FBI's radar for more than 8 years. In 2016, he shot his female co-worker Sandy Lee in a wooded area in Cabarrus County, North Carolina. A few days later, the female victim's car was located at a bus station in Phoenix, Arizona. As the authorities later found out, there were multiple people involved in the case, with the main ones being the victim, a woman named Amia Feaster, and Alejandro himself, all of whom worked together at a restaurant in Charlotte. During the investigation, the cops learned that Sandy Lee and Alejandro had briefly dated, and after their breakup, Castillo started dating his other co-worker, Amia Feaster. According to court documents, Sandy Lee had apparently lent some money to Alejandro, and on August 9th of that year, he texted her to meet up with him at a Quick Trip located on Eastway Drive in Charlotte, claiming that he was going to pay her back. Disturbingly, that's when Castillo decided to rob her at gunpoint, take her life, and flee to Mexico. In an eerie clip of CCTV footage that was later released by the authorities, the suspect can be seen crossing the Mexican border through Nogales, Arizona, along.
They ain't getting him. And right now is smoking a with his boys in a Modelo in his hand. Hey, Vato, give me the blood, fucker! Give me the blood! This is living life right now.
With his girlfriend, Amia. A couple of months later that same year, Amia turned herself into the authorities in Mexico and was charged with accessory after the fact of felony murder and
felt guilty.
Larceny of a motor vehicle.
Now she's in prison for the rest of her life.
Based on her testimony, she and Alejandro had been staying with the killer's cousin. At some point, Castillo had once again disappeared with no explanation, and that's when she decided to turn herself in. As of 2024, the FBI has no further clues that could lead to
Why would you turn yourself? She must have not liked Mexico. I'll tell you what, that Alejandro is at home right now.
Castillo's arrest.
She wanted to go back
right
to
now,
America.
all they know is that he's probably still living in Mexico. The last time he was seen, he wore his hair short and shaved on the sides, but that's pretty much all they have to go on. As of today, there's still a $250,000 reward out for his arrest.
Bro,
but
he's
there have
not
been no
coming
further
back.
updates on his case.
You're literally banned in America.
Before we move on, I wanted to take some
you know how crazy that is? Like, you're banned in America. You can't come back. I'm going to Mexico. Yo, I honestly, bro, like, imagine you go on a manhunt for top 10 most wanted people. Bro, you're gonna get killed. Like, imagine you find like, oh my god, I found you. Stay right here. They're blowing your brains out, bro.
Ruja Ignatova.
Not wasting no time. Or they run it.
In 2016, the Bulgarian entrepreneur Ruja Ignatova stepped on stage in a beautiful red dress at the Coin Rush global event in Wembley, London to talk about her vision for the future of her crypto company OneCoin. During the presentation, she claimed that in 2 years, everyone would forget about Bitcoin and that OneCoin would dominate the crypto world as the one true cryptocurrency. It's hard to imagine that any of her excited, applauding investors knew that they were stepping into what was later described by the New York Times as one of the biggest scams in history.
What?
For several years, Ruja, or the crypto queen as she's known nowadays, promised her buyers a 5-fold and even 10-fold
Why is she Americans' most wanted if she scammed in London?
return on their investment in OneCoin.
Shouldn't she be at London's most wanted?
Normally, these kinds of claims are an immediate red flag, but because the entire world was scrambling to get on the crypto action, a ton of investors jumped at the opportunity without thinking twice, resulting in a massive OneCoin buying frenzy. Between 2014 and 2016, OneCoin raked in more than $4 billion from unsuspecting investors, with more than $50 million coming from investors in the US.
What?
As the investors learned when they bought into OneCoin, the company was pretty much a pyramid scheme in which they were rewarded for recruiting their friends to buy it as well.
Pump and
And
dump.
for a while, the shady
Pump and dump's illegal?
multi-level marketing model seemed to be working for Ruja. However, in 2016, a lot of our investors started complaining that they were really struggling to sell their OneCoins and that they didn't see how they'd ever recoup their investments. Word started to spread online that OneCoin was a scam, which drew the attention of the media as well as federal investigators. Unfortunately, it was a little too late by then. Less than a year and a half after her presentation in Wembley, Ruja got on a plane from Bulgaria to Greece and was never seen again.
Damn.
Disturbingly, during the investigation,
all them millions in Greece. Probably got plastic surgery. Probably got a BBL. Bigger boobies. She's unnoticeable now. She probably does OnlyFans and we don't even know it.
A bunch of really messed up emails
She got a ton of money.
were leaked by federal investigators in which the crypto queen made it more than clear that she knew she was scamming people out of their hard-earned money from the very start.
Damn.
In some of her emails, she admitted that the company wasn't actually mining any coins,
4 billion.
that her coin was trash, and that her investors were idiots for trusting her.
How is that illegal though? Bro, but I don't get it. I don't get it. It's fraud, but they chose to buy it knowing that it could be a false advertisement. That doesn't make sense. Bro, she literally escaped. She's in Greece somewhere. That is realistic. I'm sure you could find her. I'm sure people noticed her and be like, oh, you scammer. You know what I'm saying? It's still fraud. Oh, damn.
In one of her emails, she proposed an exit strategy to her partner Carl Greenwood, which consisted of taking the money, running away, and blaming somebody else for the whole thing.
Damn.
During the investigation, Carl ended up pleading guilty to wire fraud and conspiracy to launder money, for which he was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Damn!
As it was later revealed, the FBI had been onto Ruja long before she fled from Bulgaria, even recruiting her American boyfriend to look into her company's practices for them. After learning about her extremely sketchy business practices and her grand scheme to steal billions of dollars from investors all around the world, she was charged with wire fraud, money laundering, and securities fraud.
If that got 20, bro, she's getting life.
This promptly landed her a spot on the FBI's most wanted
She's
list,
literally getting
becoming
life.
only the 11th woman to earn that distinction. Looking into her past to find clues as to what could have influenced Ruja to do something so nefarious, federal investigators found some pretty interesting stuff. As it turns out, Ruja was fluent in 4 languages, was extremely intelligent, once had a job at a high-ranking consulting firm, and had been obsessed with fashion and maintaining her image from a very young age. It was only with the benefit of hindsight that prosecutors were able to clearly see how she used all these qualities to carry out her malicious plans. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the FBI will find her anytime soon.
Yeah, no shot, bro. Wait, can the FBI go into Greece and arrest her? Like, say a FBI member, right, is in Greece on vacation and he sees her. Can he, like, put her in handcuffs right there and then? Is that possible, chat? No, they would get Greece police to arrest them. Damn, they would need permission.
It's been rumored that
like
after
America.
fleeing the country, the crypto queen may have drastically altered her appearance with plastic surgery, and is
Whoa, I just said that.
believed to travel with armed guards at all times. Disturbingly, there have also been several allegations that she was
weird.
murdered by an accomplice, but this hasn't been proven. If she is still alive, the FBI suspects Ruja is traveling on a German passport to the United Arab Emirates, Bulgaria, Germany, Russia, Greece, and multiple countries in Eastern Europe. Considering how elusive she's been since her disappearance almost 8 years
They can't
ago,
check her bank
it's unlikely
statements?
the FBI will ever find out what became of Ruja
They can't look at her
Ignatova
bank
after pulling
statements?
off one of the largest financial scams in history. Arnaldo Jimenez. On May 12, 2012,
I heard about this guy. I heard he cut somebody's off and made him eat it.
Arnaldo Jimenez and his wife Estrella went out to celebrate their wedding in a black 2006 4-door Maserati. Less than 24 hours after the couple had said their vows, Arnaldo knifed his wife to death in the car, dragged her into the bathroom tub of her apartment in Burbank, Illinois, and disappeared without a trace. When Estrella didn't come back to
Bro got married to have a good time and then leave her after they did their vows.
pick up her kids at the next day, her family called the cops, who ended up finding Estrella's remains still in her wedding dress in her bathtub.
What?
Immediately, a nationwide search for Arnaldo was launched, but by that time
What
the
the
suspect was long gone. During the investigation, it was revealed that Jimenez had reached out to a friend before fleeing and told him, "If anyone asks where I am, tell them I went to Mexico." Since then, the authorities have received multiple tips that Jimenez may have fled to Durango or Tamaulipas, Mexico, where he's believed to be hiding out with family members. Initially, a $100,000 reward was issued for anyone with information that could lead to his arrest, but
What the f?
years after he was placed on the
How do you have a wedding and then kill your wife?
most wanted list, the FBI increased the
What
reward
did she
to
do?
$250,000. Burbank police have stated that in the past 12 years they've received hundreds of tips about Arnaldo's whereabouts, but none of them had led to anything significant. After
like
the
they don't
crime,
care.
investigators traced his phone and determined that he had traveled from Chicago to Tennessee, then to Arkansas, and from there to Hidalgo, Texas, very close to the Mexican border.
How do you, wait, this is gonna sound dumb, but if you have a Mexican visa, you're allowed to go into Mexico, right? Like, say he was a Mexican and he had a Mexican ID. He can go to Mexico anytime he wants, right? Yeah? Wait. So he was from Mexico originally. So he was an immigrant. You're real smart? Shut the f*** up. Said it's gonna sound stupid. That's why I want to know.
They were unfortunately unable to determine where he went after that. Police have also revealed that the car in which Arnaldo carried out his heinous crime was never found. If the suspect is ever caught, he'll be spending the rest of his life in prison for first-degree murder and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. But based on how things have played out since the last time he was seen, it's unlikely Arnaldo will ever pay for his atrocious crime.
Damn. That's
Mattel
crazy.
innocent. As the leader of one of Haiti's largest
Probably is a narco now, if you think about it. You know?
and most violent criminal gangs, Craze Barry,
Oh,
Vital
this
Ominesen,
crazy.
which do not let his name fool you, he is indeed not innocent, has terrorized the region for years, earning a spot on the FBI's most wanted list
Damn.
for his role in a string of brutal kidnappings and murders.
Damn.
In October 2021, he collaborated with the notorious 400 Mawozo gang to carry out the high-profile kidnapping of 17 Christian missionaries in Haiti. Disturbingly, 5 of the
Missionaries?
kidnapping victims were children, one as young as 8 months old. Held at gunpoint, the hostages were reportedly kept captive for 2 months while the gangs demanded a ransom of $1 million per hostage.
What the?
It was only an anonymous donor paid an undisclosed sum to Craze Barry and 400 Mawozo that the missionaries were finally released. Based on court documents, Innocent and his crew ended up spending the ransom money on weapons. That same year, the Haitian president was assassinated, which caused Innocent's influence
Oh my god, bro is literally taking over Haiti. What I'm hearing is this is taking over Haiti by captivating 8 missionaries.
To grow exponentially in the chaos that engulfed the country. In the aftermath of the assassination, Craisbury claimed new territories and expanded their ranks quicker than the cops could even keep track of. In 2023,
he actually is winning.
Craisbury boasted an estimated 600 members, many of whom were young children who were involuntarily recruited to serve Innocent's criminal organization. Almost exactly 1 year after the kidnapping of the Christian missionaries, Craisbury kidnapped 2 U.S. citizens under Innocent's orders, Marie Odette Franklin and Jean Franklin. Unfortunately, one of the victims did not survive, while the other was held for a
that should have started a war.
$300,000 ransom.
That should have started a war.
Somehow, Innocent still managed to walk away scot-free. In April 2024, CNN released an interview where Innocent brazenly showed off his luxury home, which sticks out like a sore thumb in the extreme poverty surrounding him. Surrounded by gold-rimmed couches and chairs, Innocent explained to the reporter how he came to power. In the interview, he shamelessly blamed Haiti's corruption on the country's politicians, refusing to take any responsibility.
Bro, this killed an American, and you telling me like America didn't slide? But when a gets arrested for having weed in Russia, we trade her with a guns claimer? Get the f out of here, nigga.
For his own actions. Interestingly, he also alleged that before becoming the leader of Craisbury, he had once owned multiple legitimate businesses, including a hotel and a rental car company, but said his companies were destroyed by the government. According to multiple crime analysts, Innocent was once a political activist before he turned to violent crime to maximize his influence. Back in the US, Innocent is wanted by the FBI for an insanely long list of crimes, including kidnapping for ransom, theft, murder, assault, vehicle theft, and destruction of property.
Yeah, you're never catching him. Bro, if you catch him, you would literally have to be the military. You would have to go in that with the Navy SEALs, all black outfits at night like you're assassinating Osama bin Laden, nigga. This nigga has power, like real life power.
There's a $2 million reward.
This is not Warzone. LG3 verse 600 Haitians ready to crash out for a half-eaten cheeseburger.
For information leading to his arrest. But with powerful connections
and an
armed gang, it'll be pretty tough to ever bring him to justice.
I'm dead as f***. That's funny as shit.
Omar Alexander Cardenas. In 2022, the FBI released 2 eerie before and after clips of a man walking into and then running away from a shop. 2019.
Bro says sweater god.
The man seen in the video is 29-year-old Omar Alexander Cardenas, and let's just say that he didn't exactly go shopping in the time that
Sweater god on FBI's Most Wanted.
After disappearing from the camera's view, Omar walked up to a man standing outside the Hair Icon barber shop at an outdoor shopping center and fired several rounds from his semi-automatic handgun at his head, killing him instantly.
Wait, is this Miami?
Immediately after committing the crime, Omar fled the scene a little after 4 p.m. as he can be seen in the eerie FBI footage. A suspected member of the Pierce Street gang in Los Angeles, and often going by the nickname Dollar, Omar is suspected to have fled to Mexico to seek refuge among his relatives.
Damn, his relatives.
In September 2021, a federal arrest warrant was issued for the suspect after he was charged with murder and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, thanks to which he was pinned on the Most Wanted billboard. Even though he committed a brutal crime pretty much in broad daylight and didn't exactly shy away from the cameras after doing it, the cops seem to know surprisingly little
get away
about Omar. The only things they really know about him are that he's around 300 pounds.
How did this fat get away?
Wears thick prescription
wobbling
glasses,
his ass away from a crime scene. It's easy to just tackle
him. And is considered armed and dangerous. Which alone is hardly enough to track down a criminal who's crossed international borders to flee prosecution.
Look at that! To pick up his pants.
Hopefully
he's already
more
out of breath.
Will surface leading to his potential extradition and arrest. But for now, it looks like Omar will remain a most wanted criminal.
Throw a Big Mac at him.
Yulan Adonai Archaga Carayas.
What?
Back in the 80s, a gang known as the Mara Salvatrucha was set up to protect Salvadorian immigrants from other gangs in the Los Angeles area. Fast forward a couple of decades, and the Mara, or the MS-13 for short, had become one of the most brutal and criminal organizations in the world. Nowadays, MS-13 has a strong presence in El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, the US, Canada, and even Spain. They engage in all kinds of criminal activity, from drug trafficking, human trafficking, extortion, murder, and
they do human trafficking?
racketeering, often using extreme violence to maintain their influence and control. For many years, a man named Yulan Adonai Archaga Carayas operated as the head of MS-13's criminal activities in Honduras, providing support sources to the gang in Central America and the US with firearms, narcotics, and loads of cash. Often operating under his alias Porky, Yulan is wanted by the FBI for trafficking multi-ton loads of drugs through Honduras to the US, and for the—
Yeah, like the government doesn't do it already. Be mad, bro. This was making money. And the government like, yep, you making money, we'll put you on FBI Most Wanted, bud.
Killing of several rival gang members. Among Porky's colorful criminal charges, you'll find everything from murder to racketeering conspiracy to drug importation to possession of machine guns. Even though he's only around 160 pounds, Yulan is considered one of the most powerful men in Honduras, as the MS-13 gang has had the country in a chokehold for years.
Damn.
The most shocking part of the story is that at one point, Porky had already been apprehended by the Honduran authorities and was even taken to a courthouse for a hearing on charges of murdering 2 Honduran prosecutors. But during the hearing, 20 armed men dressed up in the same clothes as the anti-gang police units walked into the building escorting a veiled suspect and suddenly opened fire on the guards. In just a few seconds, the men subdued the guards and safely escorted Porky out of the courthouse, killing 4 police officers in the process.
What the That's gangsta. That's gangsta.
For obvious reasons, Porky is considered armed and extremely dangerous.
What the
Sheer nature of his
Hold
crime,
up
the FBI is offering $5 million to anyone who can provide information on the arrest. One of the things that makes it extremely difficult to track a suspect like Porky down is that he's taken every possible measure to fly under the radar. Although he's believed to still be in Honduras, he and his security team use untraceable numbers from Israel and Poland, and he goes to extreme lengths to keep his whereabouts a secret when he contacts his family. Although the hunt for Porky is far from over, he's likely to remain one of the most elusive and dangerous fugitives on the FBI's most wanted list for years to come.
He got power. They pulling up to a court case, escorting him like police. He got power. Don't forget
Alexis
the chop.
Flores. One seemingly peaceful afternoon in July 2000, 5-year-old Ariana De Jesus was playing on the street in Philadelphia with her sister and friends when her mom went out for a quick trip to the store. When her mom came back, she started living every parent's worst nightmare. Ariana had been taken by a suspicious man. Immediately, her mother reported her missing, triggering a citywide search for the 5-year-old girl.
What the
Desperate efforts.
I used to be so scared of getting kidnapped back then because it was such like, bro, was doing it OD, bro. There was fucking BET movies about kidnapping and shit. Had me paranoid.
To bring more attention to the disappearance, Ariana's family and friends covered every neighborhood wall, light post, and stop sign with flyers and missing posters, but nobody had any clue what had happened to the little girl. Unfortunately, after a few weeks of searching, the cops found her unresponsive in the basement of an abandoned apartment building just a few blocks away from where she had been taken. Disturbingly, the authorities also found a t-shirt featuring a bold political logo at the crime scene, which they deduced belonged to the suspect.
Political?
During the investigation, a man came forward stating that he was pretty certain the t-shirt had belonged to a guy he only knew as Carlos, a drifter he had once employed as a handyman. Unfortunately, despite the promising lead, the case went cold for several years, leaving Ariana's family devastated and confused. It wasn't until 2007 that the authorities were able to analyze the shirt again thanks to recent advances in DNA technology, and what they found changed the course of the investigation forever. The DNA in the shirt was a perfect match with that of a man named Alexis Flores, who had been arrested in Arizona in 2002 for shoplifting and in 2004 for forgery. Unfortunately, by the time his DNA was linked to the crime, he had already been deported to Honduras years earlier for other, less serious crimes. As the police would later find, finding Alexis Flores was going to be a lot more difficult than they initially thought. Throughout his colorful criminal career,
there's so many crimes that haven't been solved, bro. But they have the suspects. That is insane.
Alexis had provided multiple fraudulent dates of birth and names. Despite his inclusion in the most wanted list, the only things the FBI really knows about him are that Alexis is around 5'4", 130 pounds, and has visible scars on his forehead and right cheek. Due to his crimes, he's obviously also considered armed and extremely dangerous. With a $250,000 reward on his head for the crimes of kidnapping and murder, you would think that someone would have come forward with information on this guy, but 24 years after the crime, Alexis has remained unfound. Wilver Villegas Palomino. The National Liberation Army, or ELN, is a Marxist-Leninist guerrilla insurgency group in Colombia, often referred to as Colombia's last true insurgency and one of Latin America's most powerful
Bro is 5'4" and dangerous
criminal organizations. In the past few years, the ELN has expanded
Ain't this
aggressively
the guy in Black Ops?
to Venezuela, thanks to which the National Liberation Army now has over 6,000 active members. Interestingly, for the first few decades after its foundation, the group mostly focused their efforts on kidnapping, extortion, and attacking oil infrastructure. But over time, the ELN stopped shying away from trafficking and became deeply involved in the international trade, earning them the attention of the FBI. In 2023, Wilver Villegas Palomino became the 530th addition to the FBI's most wanted list on multiple serious charges ranging from narco-terrorism to murder to trafficking. Often running under the alias The Hog, Palomino is a high-ranking member of the National Liberation Army who's been involved in a 20-year conspiracy to distribute drugs from Colombia to the US. Thanks to which a warrant for his arrest was issued back in 2020. Wilver has also been accused of murdering multiple human rights advocates in Venezuela and the Catatumbo region in Colombia between 2017 and 2019. Due to his high rank and his responsibility in flooding the streets of Houston and other major US cities with the United States Department of State's Narcotics Rewards Program
be like this.
Is offering a reward
that is crazy.
Up to $5 million for information leading to Palomino's
Oh my, yeah, you're not getting him, bro.
Arrest.
Not gonna lie.
As of today, it's a complete mystery where this guy is. But considering the ELN oversees the production of over 200 tons of drugs, which are later distributed worldwide, obviously including the US, it makes sense why he was put on the list. Donald Eugene Fields II. Since 2022, Donald Eugene Fields
looks like a sex offender.
Has been wanted by the FBI for the alleged trafficking of at least one child in Missouri between
I knew
2013 and 2017.
I knew it.
According to the authorities, Fields took a 14-year-old girl and offered her to his friend Ted Sartori Jr. in exchange for cash, cars,
Dom the pedo hunter.
motorcycles,
it was obvious. He was literally white.
Vacations, and Christmas presents. Last known to live in Franklin County, Missouri, Fields has apparently been moving around the country since 2022, working sporadic jobs as a tree trimmer and independently selling used cars in an effort to fly under the radar. Based on court documents, it's believed that Donald probably took more than one victim, and that he might be hiding out with his girlfriend Jennifer Isgriggs, who is also wanted on a felony warrant for failure to provide child support.
Got a bald patch on her forehead.
Since 2022, the cops have received multiple tips indicating that Fields spent some time in the Tampa area. And as soon as they heard that, they started running Facebook ads indicating that Fields spent some time in the Tampa area.
Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Are they paying if we catch him?
And as soon as they heard that, they started running Facebook ads with his face on a most wanted poster to ask for the public's assistance in locating him.
Hold on.
Unfortunately, it's likely that by then, Fields had already fled to Stover, Missouri. The FBI has also placed large billboards with Fields' face in cities where he's known to travel, but so far it seems like he's managed to stay a step ahead of the cops. Earlier in 2024,
so he's still in America.
Sartori, Fields' partner in crime, pleaded guilty to his charges and will face up to 30 years in prison. He'll also likely have to pay $25,000 in restitution to his victim. Based on court documents, he'll be officially sentenced in early November 2024. As per the FBI's description of the suspect, Fields has multiple scars on his body as well as a tribal print tattoo on his right shoulder. With such a big effort being made by the FBI to make this guy's face known, hopefully someday he'll be recognized by someone and
I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of that look like him. 250K and he's still in the US. Chat, should we go on a wild manhunt? Bro, imagine like we ran into him nonchalantly and we didn't even know, chat. He probably is homeless now. I feel like I've seen him before, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Relax, bird, been out then, this is legit, nigga. 5-star dinners, 5 stars on my bitch, nigga. Been 10 fat shit up on my wrist, been him, could've been anything I wanna get, nigga.